everyone, it's Doug. I hope you're doing well. In today's video, we're actually going to be tackling 2 exercises together, which is going to help you to permanently sing more in tune and ultimately solve your issues of singing off key and not being able to find the starting note in songs. So I'm looking for permanent change, and I've got a really cool exercise to show you on how to do that. Before we move on into the exercises, I just want to say this. If anybody has ever told you that you have a bad sounding voice, you are singing off key, you are tone deaf, or any of these kind of comments, don't think that it means you are a bad singer. I've heard of singers who actually might even have a good sounding voice, but people might actually label them as bad singers because they just hear off key singing and immediately assume that they are bad singers. Just to put it into another context, I want you to imagine for me a 15-year-old teenager who's an incredible creative writer. So he writes incredible creative short stories, he's great at putting his imagination into the story, into the page, but then all of a sudden, when he hands in his creative writing story to his teacher, he gets given back a bad mark, and the teacher tells him that he's not very talented in writing. And the reason why the teacher said that was because he had some grammar mistakes. Okay, the reason why this kid wasn't able to get a good mark was basically because he forgot a few concepts he was meant to learn back in elementary school. This is basically what's happening with your pitch. It's an area of your voice or an area of your musical ability that is underdeveloped for whatever reason. For example, that creative writing kid, if he just works on his grammar, he's going to get the approval from his teacher, and she would realize, oh, he's actually great. I was just judging him with the wrong context. I was judging him based on his ability to write 100% correct English, not his ability to write an amazing story. You see how once you improve your pitch and then you marry that with the ability to sing great, people are going to recognize you as a good singer. Okay. So the first exercise is the first 3 notes of the major scale. The notes are A, B, C sharp, B, A. So guys, you match my pitch. Oh. And girls, I want you to sing here. That's where I want you to sing, okay? Now, this or sound is like a oh, so it's like OH, or like for. And I want you to have your jaw also open and down too, because you don't want to include any tension in the sound like this. Or it actually makes it more difficult to manipulate the pitch. Before we do it together, I want you to go ahead and get this tuning app, or at least use a chromatic tuner if you own one. This app, it's called Tuner T1. There's a link in the description for iOS and Android. It's not a sponsored thing, it's just a really good app, and you have notes for reference built into it, so that's why I chose it. What you're gonna do is try and get A, B, C sharp, and then sing it back in reverse to show up on the tuning app. So I want you to also sustain it for a long time, like this. Oh. See, I'm going flat. Oh. And as you probably know, the goal is to get it to light up fully green because that means you're in tune. If it goes to the left-hand side of the screen, it means you are flat. If it goes to the right-hand side of the screen, it means you are too sharp. Okay? Anyway. Oh. It's actually quite a low note for guys. It's not even that comfortable for me, but I've got to demonstrate it at a place that everyone can do. Girls, I want you to do that an octave higher, like this. Oh. Now, there's a reason why I chose the first 3 notes to do, and it's because it's actually harder, as you can see me demonstrating, than you think. Most singers can go, oh, oh. That's not hard, but to get it 100% in pitch is quite difficult. What I want to say is I just want you to get as close to the pitch as possible. You don't need to be a perfectionist about it. If you have a mindset of trying to get it at least 90% there, that'd be great. You're always going to have human error. You just got to get close as possible, okay? Now, here's the next step though. I've got another link in the description for what I call a drone in the key of A. So I'm going to play it now. This is what it sounds like. And we're going to do this together. We're going to sing the A, B, C sharp, B, A together using the tuner and the drone. So have a look at this. Take a breath, open the jaw. Cool. I actually felt it was much easier to do it with the drone because you have a note sustaining, which you can compare and I guess even use your voice to measure where you're at with it. Now, if you sing it wrong with the drone, it's going to sound like this. Oh. We call that a dissonant sound. Dissonant. So it sounds like this on the guitar, like a dissonant sound. And then you want to move it up to be able to become in what we call unison. And this is a dissonant sound with the drone, which you don't want. You want it to be as smooth as possible. Oh. You hear that's unpleasant? Oh. It's actually going to be here. Oh. The last step I want you to do, after you've given that a few goes and you feel like you understand the distance between the notes and what it sounds like, oh, I want you to try it with the drone without the tuner. You might even want to close your eyes, take a breath, open the jaw. The reason why it's important to train with just the drone and without the tuner is because you don't want to be completely fixated on just watching a screen and trying to get it to line up. What you really need to train, the biggest thing you need to train is your ear's ability to hear whether you're in pitch or not, okay? Now, you can do that with the tuner, that's fine. But once you have this nice bass note, this drone going, you're able, like I said before, to compare whether you're in or out of pitch by how distant it is. So you want it to be as smooth and in harmony as possible. Cool. If you're struggling with that, just know that the note you're probably struggling with is the second to third. So, oh, oh, oh. So, if you're struggling with that, either on the drone or on the tuner, just focus on the tuner because that's the first step.